Welcome to Mindset Mastery Moments, the best growth mindset podcast recognized by Million Podcasts and ranked as a top mindset podcast by FeedSpot. We're proud to be in the top 1% on Listen Notes. Join Dr. Alisa Whyte as we explore powerful insights and strategies to elevate your mindset. Let's dive in.
Welcome back, Disruptors, to another episode of Mindset Mastery Moments, a podcast that empowers you to break limitations, flip the script, and move from stuck to unstoppable. Today, I am honored to sit down with Michael Shaw, founder of Mastery Mindset Library. Michael's journey is nothing short of inspiring. He's built and sold a thriving fitness business in Manhattan, trained Hollywood celebrities and top business professionals, and even competed in U.S. Muay Thai at over 50 years old. Well, I couldn't tell, because wait, for the ones who watching video, you cannot tell his age. I don't even know when was 50. But his story doesn't stop there. For more than 30 years, Michael has been a psychology-trained coach, helping thousands overcome anxiety, depression, when nothing else worked. He is the creator of a unique approach to mental wellness that transforms lives without years of traditional therapy. His mission is simple: to empower high achievers to master their mindset, rebuild confidence, and turn challenges into catalysts for success. Michael, we welcome you. I would say my twin brother. Welcome to Mindset Mastery Moments, where you belong.
Thank you so much for having me. I am genuinely honored to be here. This space that you've created is so powerful because it's not just about success, but about the mindset shifts that allow us to overcome adversity and rewire our patterns and unlock who we were always meant to be.
I love it. So you and I are in the same pot of soup and we're cooking up. You cook up some really good things. I personally love dumplings in my soup. So today, can you add some dumplings and some beef? And I want vegetables. Yeah. I'm such a goof. I love it.
Let's mix it all in.
Let's mix it in.
So
I don't know.
Michael.
Tell us about yourself, who you are, absolutely, what you do,
Sure.
and where you're from.
Absolutely. So I'm Michael Shaw, and I am a mindset coach, and I help people break through the patterns that keep them stuck. And while my methods are rooted in positive psychology, my real framework comes from the lessons I've learned from life itself, walking through the fire to get to where I am today. And, for years, I was the classic overachiever. I built businesses. I pushed my mind and my body through bodybuilding competitions, triathlons, Muay Thai fights, and even poker tournaments. And I was always chasing the next win as if my self-worth depended on it. But underneath all of that drive was trauma, anxiety, and a lingering sense that no matter what I accomplished, it would never be enough. And my turning point actually didn't come from a victory. It came from an emotional collapse.
Wow.
And the identity I had built to survive could no longer carry the weight of childhood trauma that I'd never fully faced.
Wow.
And that collapse became my doorway into the real work, where I was healing old wounds, rewriting my inner narrative, and learning how to lead my life from strength and alignment instead of fear and survival.
Wow.
And one of the most pivotal moments came in 2008 when I was blindsided by betrayal. Overnight, I lost my fiance, my home, my stability as a father, and the family life that I held so dear. And I can remember sitting in an empty room asking myself, how do I rebuild a life that I didn't see coming? I had to learn how to trust again, how to forgive without forgetting, and how to show up for my kids while I was still healing. And in doing so, I discovered what I now teach, that our deepest pain sits right next to our greatest purpose. And that actually wasn't my first encounter with emotional upheaval. I grew up in a home marked by domestic violence. And as a child, I took on the role of protector. what I now recognize as a hero complex. And when my father raged, I stepped in to save my mother. And that kind of wiring shaped everything, my relationships, my self-worth, and how I handled pain. And later, as a father myself, I faced a different challenge, which was supporting my child, struggling with anxiety and depression. And this time, I wasn't the fixer. I was the witness. I couldn't solve it. I could only be present. And that experience taught me the deepest kind of compassion, to walk alongside someone without judgment, meeting them where they are and not where I think they should be. And all of these experiences became the foundation of the work that I do now, helping people move through fear, through anxiety and self-sabotage with practical tools that actually transform how they see themselves and how they live.
Michael, what sort of disruption is happening today? I have goosebumps, no joke. I literally have goosebumps. And first of all, thank you so much for your vulnerability and your willingness for sharing your journey authentically as a man. First of all, a lot of male struggle so hard to even say, I'm hurting. And one thing we do at anything Dr. Alisa Whyte, whether it is Mindset Mastery Moments, Mindset Mastery 360, or anything that I do, is we really honor and celebrate the men around us. Because my personal belief is that when men are positioned, when they're healed, positioned in purpose, and they're living it out, our world is a better place. Because I believe that men are the head. Women, we are co-piloting with you. So when we focus on just empowering women, we're just focusing on empowering half the whole nucleus of the family. So when our men step into position, I feel like women now are aligning with you. And so does the family and our community and our society. But one thing about what you just shared, I am sitting here in Phoenix, Arizona, well, outside of Phoenix, Arizona, and you are telling my story. I don't know if you know this, but my journey is very much like yours. I am very much a recovering overachiever, I say. And I suffered my family with the domestic violence with my dad, who's gone on. I suffered a head injury as a result, but I did play that role as the protector. The healing journey that you described sound like mine. And here I am in this world, landed on focusing on the mind and reprogramming and reframing thoughts and ideas that pop up to just align yourself in purpose. So you and I are already two peas in a pod. Hello. You said that you found yourself questioning your existence at the loss of a relationship. Well, that's the same story Alisa has too. Those who listen to the podcast.
Right.
So now we're going to travel down this journey with you to how you became a master of mindset, because I believe that all our guests are masters of mindset. That is why we gravitate to each other and we end up on this platform to share not just our stories, but the empowering tools that we had. So Michael, your story doesn't begin with fitness, but it pivoted. But somehow along the way, like you shared with us, you shifted your focus on mental health and wellness. If you don't mind
Right.
sharing with us, what was that defining moment really, really? Like, what did that feel like? Because here's the thing, we have so many people listening and watching us, right? That I just want them, as they travel with you and tap into your tools and the library you built, understand, see themselves in that moment and connect with you and your message and what you've brought to the world to help us heal, and not just heal, but create massive abundance in our lives, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and all of the leads, as I say. What did that moment look like for you? That defining moment?
Sure. Right. Well, so, I got into fitness and the career of personal training way back in 1994.
Mm,
Um, you know, uh, started out making $24 a week.
mm,
And within 3 years, I became the head trainer at the mom and pop fitness facility that I was working at.
mm-hmm.
And After 4 years, I bought the business, and I that business I built up and sold, and then built my flagship company, which was New York Personal Training, in Manhattan, and we opened our doors in 2003. And 14 years later, I sold that business very successfully, luckily before COVID, when everything got shut down. Um, and clients that I had from there actually stayed with me and followed me. I kept a handful and I continued to train them. And I realized, I have clients that I trained for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And, what you're talking about there is people who are paying anywhere from thirty to $50,000 a year to work out. And I realized, that my gift wasn't that I counted sets and reps better than anyone else. It
Mm.
was that I created these relationships where I was advising them on everything from business to parenthood to connecting people and getting people jobs and helping them in their careers. And I was already coaching,
Yes.
and that's what I enjoyed most about it. And that's what actually made me successful.
Wow.
So that combined with certain life events, like my father ultimately committing suicide
Mm.
from depression, and then, like I said, having a child who as a teenager really struggled, and still to this day, lives with anxiety and depression. And then two of her friends committing suicide.
Man.
I said, this is my call. This is, I just felt so much empathy for everyone I would see and hear struggling, that
Mhm.
it just became absolutely obvious that I needed to share all the lessons I had learned and the
Yeah.
experience that I had gone through myself with other people. Because right now, I can say this with more confidence than anything else in the world. I am literally the happiest man you will ever meet. I have
Wow.
the greatest wife, the greatest life, the
Yes.
greatest children. My life is literally not only filled with love, but
Mm.
guided by love each and
Mm.
every day.
That's so
And
beautiful.
it's it's a wonderful thing, but it's even more wonderful to share it and help other people with that.
Yes.
And to that end, in the last 3 months, I've had my own life event
Mm.
because of where I am, that on June 12th, I became a kidney donor. And while, it was one of the most meaningful steps I ever took in my life, and
Wow.
it wasn't just a medical decision, it was a personal declaration that I now live in alignment with my values and not my wounds. Because,
Ooh.
mindset mastery is a way of life. It's a
Yes.
journey back to your soul
Whew.
and an ongoing practice of returning to who we are beneath our pain. And that's why
Yes.
I'm so grateful to be here in this capacity to share that journey and to honor what it means to come home to yourself.
Ooh, golly. You speak my language so well. Woo. Oh, let's dive a little bit more into breaking the cycle of anxiety and depression. One of
Right.
the things
So,
you're known for is showing people how to break free from anxiety without years of therapy. That's a really bold
mhm.
promise, right? Can you walk us through what makes your approach so different from traditional therapy and medication?
Sure. Well, you know how most coaches and therapists give you strategies to help you with your problems?
Right.
I look at it completely differently. One of the biggest shifts I've made and that I now help my clients make is rooted in this core belief.
Mm.
There are no problems. There are only
Oh.
perceptions. And
Woo.
I know that sounds like a bold statement, but just follow me on this. The idea first hit me during that breakup in 2008. I was sitting in Washington Square Park, just outside of NYU in New York City, and I
Mm-hmm.
was completely paralyzed by fear, anxiety, and the weight of everything I thought I had lost. And I remember watching literally thousands of people walk by, laughing, living, completely unaware of the emotional collapse that I was having inside.
Yeah.
And it hit me that if I'm the only one feeling the weight of this problem, then it has to be something that I created,
Mm,
not in like a blaming myself kind of way, but in
right.
an empower myself kind of way.
Right.
Because that realization became the lens through which I began to see everything differently.
Yes.
What we call a problem is often just a situation that's stretching us. It's challenging our current thinking, testing our resources, or exposing the fact that maybe we're just not quite ready yet.
Yeah.
But when we slap the word problem on it, we give it weight. We create emotional resistance. We trigger fear, paralysis, and avoidance. So I
Mm,
started reframing. Instead of calling something a problem, I ask, is it a challenge? Is it an invitation to grow? Is it a mirror showing me something I haven't yet owned? And that simple shift changes everything. Problems feel heavy and overwhelming, like something happening to us. But challenges are active. They're solvable. They invite engagement. And when you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? We
yeah.
unlock a whole new level of clarity.
Yes.
And as you said, this mindset didn't come from a book. It came from the gym. And I spent years as a bodybuilder. And one thing I learned through training was that your muscles don't grow from ease. They grow from resistance.
Mm.
And, in fact, we used something called periodization, where we purposely increase the resistance right after we hit a plateau, because
Yes.
that's when growth happens. And so I just started to see life the same way and treat life the same way. Financial stress, relationship conflict, emotional burnout, that's all resistance training for your mind and spirit.
Yes.
And I asked myself, if I can embrace stress in the gym as a necessary part of growth, why wouldn't I embrace it in life the same way?
Come
So
on.
now, so now when you come to me and say, I feel stuck, I don't just I don't throw you strategies or mindset tips. We
Yes. Come
slow
on.
down, we unpack it, and we
Woo.
ask, what's the specific challenge? What
Yes.
muscle mentally, emotionally, relationally needs to grow? What outdated belief pattern is this exposing? Right? We take what looks like a problem and break it down into three things: a pattern, a perception, and a plan. And from there, everything starts to shift. Instead of I'm failing in my business, it becomes I'm being invited to grow. Maybe I need a new level of strategy, discipline, or courage. Instead
Yes.
of I'm lost in my relationship, it becomes this might be a moment of realignment. What's no longer serving me? And
Mm.
that shift from victimhood to agency is where all the power is. So while we're here listening, consider this reframing exercise. Think about the biggest problem you have in your life now.
Yes.
What if it's not happening to you, but for you? What if it's an opportunity to take the next step in your evolution?
Mm-hmm.
Which of your muscles is this challenge trying to develop? Because
Mm-hmm.
once you name the lesson, the problem loses its power.
Whew. Yes. Yes. Once you name the lesson, it's all about flexing, guys, and building up the right muscles to carry you through the purpose grounded life that you were created for. I believe that we can also just wrap up this episode and be done. Like, if you all just did that exercise, you would have so much breakthrough and transformation just by following that. But guess what? We're still here with you. But can you do us a favor right now? Stop what you're doing and take the link to wherever you're listening and following this episode, and I want you to share it with someone. You did it. Now we're back. And while you're at that, on Michael's website, which is, Michael, can you help us? Your website is?
Yeah, it's michaelshawmindset.com.
And for those who are watching us, it's right up here on the screen, michaelshawmindset.com. He has a free assessment, I think it is, right? As well, that you can take.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I have a couple of nice gifts, which I'll bring up at the end.
Yeah. Yes. So if you're listening, you got two things to do right now is pull up his website and keep it there so you have it. And I want you to do that exercise that he gives you and also share it with at least one person. I know you know one person who can use that exercise that he just went into. Let's talk, Michael, about some of those high achievers that you worked with. Why do you believe high achievers in particular, like you and I, struggle with hidden mental health challenges?
It goes back to what we mentioned before, which is belief systems that no longer serve us. So we have all of us, every single one of us, at some point suffered through what we call a psychic break. Okay. It usually happens when we're younger as a child. And it's the first time in our lives when our ego takes over. Now, it could come from something as simple as, let's say you're an only child and you get all the love and all the attention from your parents. And then one day they bring a new baby home.
Yeah.
And now you have to share that love and attention. So your untrained mind ask yourself, well, why aren't I receiving the love and attention? What did I do wrong? And that's the first time your ego could step in and tell you, okay, how do we get that love and attention back? And for many of us, it's if I do better in school, they'll have to love me. If I excel at sports, they'll have to love me. And you know what? It works. We get the attention of our teacher, of our coach, of our peers, of our parents. And that creates a belief system. And we continue to strive and to overachieve. So we get that gratification or that recognition that we felt we missed out on. While that belief system serves us at a point, well, you go decades later and you know the energy you put out is the energy you get back. And something in us feels unfulfilled because we're always chasing. We always need that recognition. We're always in fear that we're going to lose the love that we have.
Yes.
So, I mean, that is one of the areas that many, many high achievers deal with.
It is.
There are many, but that's one of them.
Yeah, that's one of them, and definitely why we find ourselves in a situation with those blocks. Awesome. So if you had to give some of our listeners and viewers that may be, battling a little bit of anxiety or depression, because we're not doctors and we're not attempting to diagnose anyone or treat you instead of your doctor. So please take note of that. But they are tools that can be added to your toolbox. Michael, what are some of those tools that you have helped people use to interrupt the cycle of anxiety and depression in their daily lives?
Yeah, absolutely. We can grind my mastery mindset framework down into a 5-phase process. As I just mentioned, the first phase is revisiting the break. So we identify the moment fear replaced authenticity, where we were transferred from the light and love of our soul into the fear and fragmentation of ego. And that moment created the protective identity and outdated belief system that you've been operating from for years. After that, our second phase is awareness, where we recognize the unconscious beliefs and protective patterns steering our choices. From there, we rewire by replacing fear-based beliefs with identity-based choices. And our fourth phase is alignment, where you declare your values and live by them, which is, to me, the most important thing you can do. And fifth is activation. We build daily habits, boundaries, and systems that reinforce our best self. And it's not just theory, It's a roadmap to stop self sabotage and live a life of clarity, strength, and integrity.
Oh, that's just solid. That's some solid stuff. Whoa, I get so excited. As you all know, I guess I could call myself not just a mindset disruptor, but I'm also a mindset training and retraining junkie. And I'm not going to try to recover from that because I can never learn enough on how many different ways and modals we can use to get an optimized way. Because here's the thing, Michael, and you can comment on this. You're never going to be done training your mindset because there's always another way to find yourself down a rabbit hole of stinking thinking, um, toxic talks that are just limiting beliefs. There's always room. So I don't believe like there's a destination when it comes to mastering your mindset. I believe that you master it as you go for every level of life if you stay committed to it. So there's always room for tools and fresh perspective on just mastering and rebooting on the limitations that might be setting you up. Because I find that as I go to different levels of not just success, but creating impact or just growing, and as I say, growing and glowing, there are levels to the same thing that I have to rip off like an onion, just layers of it. What are your thoughts about that?
So I agree with you, kind of.
Okay, let's hear it.
Right. So, like I said, phase 4 alignment is my
Hmm.
favorite work that I do. So think about this. Once we reach the alignment phase,
Hmm.
that is where you have examined all of your beliefs, all of the beliefs in your belief system. And it's literally what I usually do is a 30-day exercise. And each of those days, we examine one of your beliefs. And if you can imagine that you're in a boat and the belief is either going to help that boat float or it's going to sink that boat. And if it's going to sink the boat, we thank the belief with love for what it's done for us and we cast it out. Okay.
Love it.
So
Yeah.
after that exercise, that 30-day exercise is done, and we are literally reborn. We're re-immersing
Hmm.
ourselves and emerging in the world with our new belief system. We create our I am declaration. You see me wearing my I am
Yes, I
necklace,
love
which I
that.
never take off, right?
Right.
And that's the 10 or 12 statements that announce to the world who you are and how you show up.
Mm,
Now, once you have that declaration and you repeat that declaration to yourself every day, numerous times, you can then decide what are your 4, 5, or 6 core values.
mm,
Okay. And if you know who you are and how you show up and you stick to your core values and those are and then every action, right? The fifth phase is activation, building your
hmm.
daily habits, boundaries, and systems that reinforce your best self. If you're acting in alignment with your I am declaration and your values, you have the super confidence. You never question yourself
Ooh, I
because you
love it.
know you are acting and living in alignment. So,
Yes.
yes, you're always developing your mindset, but with that as the basis and foundation,
Yes.
you're
There's
just always
mastery.
growing. You're always finding
Yes.
new ways to grow.
I got it. Yes. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. So on your website, you share, and you did share with us earlier that, your empathy did not come from textbooks and it came from real life as well as a father fighting for your daughter. How did that personal experience really shape your mission and the way that you serve thousands of others? And what would you say to maybe a parent who has a child that's going through sort of the same like your daughter?
Yeah, well, what I can and do say to parents is always you can't fix it, okay? But what you can do is see the world through your child's eyes and meet them where they are. And
Mm,
always, always, always let them know they're not alone in this. And you can actually be vulnerable as a parent and feel comfortable in asking, is there anything more I could do to make you feel more loved and supported? Now, imagine saying that to your child when they're acting out or they gotten in trouble or they're failing in school or not doing well in a sport. Instead of
yeah.
pushing, pushing, pushing. Is there anything I could do that would make you feel more loved and more supported?
Come on now. So
Give your
powerful.
child the platform to tell you how you can help them.
Hmm. I love that. That alone, again, you could even do that with your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend
With
because
anybody.
yes, a soft answer literally turns away wrath or frustration, and it just makes people feel seen and supported. And that is a human need. Like it's a necessity for us as humans to feel like we matter and that we are supported. Because when you feel supported, you feel like you matter. And when you are supported, when you matter, you are going to feel supported.
And the person who receives that from you is going to look at you and believe that you
Hmm.
have the power to support
Mm,
them.
come
Right.
on.
So instead of trying to drill something into them and force your power on them, you're creating a situation where they actually believe that you have the power to help them and they will come to you for help.
Yes. Wow. I
You're just
love that.
opening those lines.
Open the lines. That's it. That's a tool to just unlock that healing and that support system and that bonding between you and your child. I love it. Or if you choose to use it with anyone else in your journey. So let me ask you this question because this is something that a lot of high achievers, we find the challenge in creating harmony in the roles that we play. So, how do you balance the role of coach and mentor, father, when emotions run deep? What does that look like if you had to give us some tips?
As far as balancing
Your
how
roles
I
as
feel
coach,
or
how,
my roles,
well, it's going to be your relationships and how, emotions run deep in all these areas. As being a father, there's a lot of emotions coming from dealing with your
sure,
child, especially when, you have one that's in that space and working through that
sure,
journey. And then your clients, right? They're all coming to you because they want change.
right.
It's a lot.
So I live my life by the rule of airline safety.
Ooh, come
When
on
you
now.
take a flight and they stand up and they give you the airline safety speech, what do they tell you? When those
Mm-hmm.
oxygen masks drop down, put yours on first
First.
so you can then help anyone next to you. You have to
Mm,
take care of yourself so you can be
yes.
your best and most powerful self to help others.
I love it.
And, we can take that a little bit of a step further,
Mm-hmm.
especially when we're talking about romantic relationships and husband and wife.
Yeah.
The worst statement or the most incorrect statement I have ever heard and I hear over and over again is you have to work at a relationship. You have to work at your marriage. Not if you're in the
Hmm.
right one. And
Ooh, tell us about that.
that is a very codependent statement.
Wow.
If each person in the relationship or both people in the relationship are always working on themselves to be their
Mm-hmm.
best self, to be their most empowered self,
Yes.
those are two well developed, evolved human beings who are going to be able to share their experiences with each other and never feel jealous and overprotective of that relationship. And they're going to grow alongside of each other instead of one growing and the other resenting.
I love it. Disruptors, you all are going to have to tune in for part 2 of this mini series with Michael and I because relationships and mindset is the core of everything. And that's why I love that you talk about mind strength versus traditional therapy. Can you unpack what that means and how it differs from therapy models most people are familiar with? Mind strength. I love that.
Sure. So you heard me at the beginning say that my methods are rooted in positive psychology,
Yes,
and that's different from psychology.
it is.
So if you can imagine a scale that goes from -5 to 5, okay,
Mm-hmm.
with 0 being the point where most people would say start.
Mm-hmm.
Well, traditional therapy usually starts when someone's feeling broken in one way or
Mm,
another. So they're
yeah.
somewhere between 0 and -5. And The therapist's work is usually to get them back to zero, back to their
Yeah.
starting point, to not feeling broken anymore.
Hmm.
That's not good enough for me.
It's
I
not,
want to
because
get you
then
to
you could just
positive
break again.
5,000.
Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, let's get to 5,000. We are limitless. Well, that's one of
Yes,
my declarations. Is
I am.
I am a believer that we are truly limitless.
Yes.
So, and we can also do this in a finite period. We can work together for 12 weeks. We don't need
Hmm.
never ending examination without redeveloping ourselves.
That's right.
That's the
And if you
biggest
do, then
difference.
obviously whatever it is you're working on is not working. If you're going on forever and
Right.
ever on
Or
it. Yeah.
but what actually happens is a lot of people become addicted to feeling broken. And that becomes their identity, you know,
Yes. My
just like with
ADHD,
anxiety.
my anxiety,
Yeah.
my ADD. I
Right. Well,
mean,
and a
we're
lot
not
of even with,
criticizing anyone. You are suffering with these things for real, but
yeah,
you keep owning it and saying it's popping up in all these different places just makes it like a crutch. I'm
sure.
sorry.
Yeah. Well, what happens is, if you hurt yourself and you go to a surgeon, that surgeon is
Hmm.
going to prescribe surgery to fix you. If you go to an
Right.
orthopedist, they're going to prescribe physical therapy. Right.
Yes.
So when you go someone and they keep telling you you're suffering from anxiety, what they're not telling you is you're misidentifying certain things as anxiety. You might just have nervous energy. You might actually be excited.
Yeah.
Right. But if you immediately identify it as anxiety or as a
Or
problem,
a state
you
of
are giving
being.
that all the weight, and you're
Hmm.
wearing that mask, that label, on the back
Yes.
of your jersey, it says anxiety.
Hmm. Yes.
Right. So that's really the major difference I see in the work that I do versus traditional therapy.
Right. And again, we're not criticizing traditional therapy and saying it's not
No,
good, don't
of
go.
course not.
We're saying that there is a difference and there is a certain level that you can achieve with being in this morale with Michael in building mind strength that you will not get from traditional therapy. You just won't. Absolutely.
Right.
I know
Right.
I've been a therapist, so I've been trained to be a therapist and I know the limitations that are within the practice of therapy. And this is why so many therapists, when they develop their private practices, they're going under the realm of being a coach and using the techniques of therapy that are baseline to actually help you build mind strength. That is what I have discovered from many of my friends who are licensed therapists in multiple states and even around the world. They're moving into the coaching space to help people build their mind muscle.
100%.
So
100%
let's
agree.
ask you this so we can get a little bit more insight. How do you integrate emotional intelligence into your work with your clients? Because that's a big buzzword. And sometimes I think people overthink it. And then there's another group of us who underestimate the importance of it. So, how do you integrate it with your clients?
Well, emotional intelligence, it's about addressing self-awareness,
Mm.
and again, once we go through all the steps I've already described, where you're
Hmm.
shedding all of those bricks you've been carrying around in that backpack that have been weighing you down and not even allowing you to see and be introspective and feel empathy for yourself or for others.
Hmm.
Once we unpack all of that, we can then start to do different exercises and workshops and address your emotional IQ and feeling how different situations actually have a physical effect as well as a mental effect.
Hmm.
So you can actually place yourself in situations and teach yourself how to act and how to feel and how to respond when your body and your mind are feeling that.
Yes.
It's a lengthy and deep dive
Mm.
work, but it's I wish they taught it in school growing up.
Come on. Yes.
Your emotional IQ and emotional intelligence. That's one of the next projects on the horizon is to create a whole new way of educating.
So I did create something called Foundations of Mindset Mastery. That is a curriculum that I am working on. It's already done. It just has to be published and then be available in colleges, universities, and school. And then at some point we adapt it to a pre-K curriculum because I believe the earlier the better. So maybe that's a project
Sure.
we can we can combine
We can
our
collaborate on.
efforts. Yes, because I'm very
Yes.
passionate
Well,
about it. If you
yeah,
teach young children and anyone how to think, I mean, that's wings. I think there's a I can't remember who the author or writer was that says the best gift you can give your children is the gift on how to think. And it's not telling them what to
sure.
think, but developing
Of
patterns
course.
and training the brain with those positive neurons of solving problems, number one, being and having that growth mindset and being building resilience and building character
Right.
and connecting with who they are from a thinking, with emotional intelligence, literally. Because a lot of times people are like, well, that's not emotional intelligence. It's like you're not considerate of me. You're not emotionally intelligent, but you can't pour from what you don't have. So emotional intelligence is really all about first your relationship with yourself. And that's then you able
Right.
to create that with others. What's your take on that, Michael?
What Yeah, well, so one of I'd like one of the movements that are actually sweeping across the universities
Hmm.
in America is empowering the students to actually be the coaches for their fellow students
Ooh,
because they
peer
understand the
support.
problems and
Yeah,
peer support and the situation they're
I
going on,
love it.
and the students feel more comfortable talking to their peers than
Then talking to you and
that
I. Yeah.
stigma of going in and talking to the psychologist or on
Mm,
campus, what have you.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, listen, you again, just like I said for the two people in a marriage or a relationship where that you have to be self-evolved. You have to be two
Mm-hmm.
self-evolved people. You have to be one continually evolving person to have your biggest impact on others.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So well said. So let me ask you this. Do you believe that anyone, no matter how broken they feel, can rebuild confidence and mental strength?
100%,
Mm,
without a doubt.
mm,
Once again, because everyone from someone who's lacking in confidence to an addict, it all goes back to that primal trauma, that psychic break, and those outdated
mm.
belief systems. Okay.
Yes.
You can, and I obviously understand the value of going through a 12-step system or what have you to break an
Mm-hmm.
addiction. But
Mm-hmm.
you will find that many of those people either slip back or find another home for that addiction, right? Find another
Yes.
addiction to take its place. And that's because you've come up with processes, right, to no longer feed the original addiction, but you never cured why you have the addiction. You've never
Mm,
addressed the beliefs, right? The belief in
yes.
you're not enough, the belief in I'm never good. Whatever that belief is, that outdated beliefs, that started somewhere.
Yes.
And on
Yes.
right. And so that any single person, we can go through this process. That's why I love it so much. And it's always
Mm-hmm.
unique because everybody's got their own situation. But any person who's willing, who wants to live their most fulfilled life,
Yes.
okay, you have to be willing to be vulnerable. You have to you have to be open to working with someone. It would be very, very, very difficult to do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be able to walk hand in hand with that child self, with
Yeah.
your now adult experience, and give yourself the grace to visit it. If you're carrying a heavy weight right now,
Mm-hmm.
pain can feel like a prison, but it can also be a portal, right? And your past does not define you, but if you're brave enough to revisit it, it can refine you. And like we said before, your pain is parked right next to your purpose. So you have to take
Ooh.
the journey. You walk
Yes.
hand in hand with your younger self. You give yourself the grace to honor your pain, the
Yes.
space to reconcile your past, and the
Mm-hmm.
permission to build a belief system that serves the person you are now. That's
Yes.
the road to building a mastery mindset. and you absolutely positively do not have to walk it alone.
I love it. I love it. I'm just curious. So we talk about mindset mastery and you talk about mastery mindset. What do you think is the sameness and the difference of flipping those two words? Because all of a sudden when you said it just now, I got it. Like I got another level of what mastery mindset is versus mindset mastery. Not that one is wrong and one is right, but they have sameness and there's a difference. I want you to help us hear it.
Right. So mindset mastery is, and this may be why I said I kind of agree with you before. Mindset mastery is the continuing mastery of how you're thinking.
Thinking.
A
Right.
mastery mindset is something that you create, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
it's the new belief system. It's this whole person that you now create. We work on creating your mastery mindset. It's like a skill set.
Right. It's where you're
They both
mastered.
coexist.
You arrive. Exactly. Yeah. I feel like the mindset mastery is a process in the mastery mindset. I don't know
Yes.
if I'm getting
And
that right. It's like
well,
there's a level of mastery that you're going to come to in this area and you don't really necessarily have to go back and work on it again in mastery mindset. Am I getting that? Look at us
right. So
play
your
with words.
mastery
I love
mindset.
to play with words. I love
Yeah.
wordsmithery.
The funny thing is, the truth is, it allows us both to have a website. One being mastery mindset, and one being mindset mastery.
Let's just go on, right? Because I think it's bought so many domains that are mindset mastery. So without overthinking it, but that's anyone who knows me and
Yeah.
loves me knows that I love to dig into places that you probably shouldn't. There's nothing there, but yeah, here I go digging. And he says, logically, girl, you already bought all the domains, so I had to change it, but we're staying the same thing. But I love when it's same, but that's what I love about our space as thought leaders and growth ambassadors or facilitators is that we can do so much of the same, but do it very differently, but all bringing so much empowerment. And so it's like listening to you and teaching, it's like I'm hearing pieces of what I offer missing. And that's why my platform is wide open to individuals who are literally helping people to become masters of their existence, in my opinion. If I can say it simply, is while you're here in this flesh, in this body, you're not supposed to be a victim. You're not supposed to be all that's perception. And you
Right.
can choose to live by that perception, or you can flip the script and master how you think, what you think, when you think it, and use that thought process to empower you to live above the norm and be, like you said, 5,000%. Be excellent, be abundant, be unstoppable. That's me. That's what I aim for. So
Undeniable.
undeniable. Woo, I love that. I haven't used that for so long, but that too, right? So let's talk about flip the script, because obviously you've shared so many moments where you literally flip the script of your own thinking and your belief. Here on the podcast, we always ask our guests about the time they had to flip the script of their own life. For you, what was that moment? What mindset shift helped you turn pain into power? What did you learn about yourself through that experience as well?
I mean, that really went back to my experience, in 2008 when my whole life
Mm,
got flipped upside down, and
yeah.
10-year relationship I was in.
Ooh,
My fiance committed adultery.
jeez.
Literally overnight, I went from having a home with a family to living on a friend's couch, and I had two small children, and
Mm.
it completely flipped me on my ass.
Yes.
But the process coming away from that, you
Mm-hmm.
know, made me look at myself, made me understand how important accountability is.
I love
Because
it.
whatever problem you have, whatever has gone wrong, and again, we don't like the word problem, but whatever you're facing, whatever you're dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
If you blame someone else or something else
Mm,
for that,
mm.
you are powerless to fix it. But
Come
if
on
you
now.
can find where is your accountability in this? How did I contribute to this? What about the way I'm living and acting and behaving helped allow this to happen? You can fix it. You now have the power.
Yes.
So radical accountability is something I came away with that. And from that point, that allowed me to release my anger, allowed me to release my hate, and actually allowed me to decide, you know what I'm going to be the best father and the
Mm.
best ex that anyone could ever have. Because then I truly am undeniable.
Woo! I love it. Forget unstoppable. What about undeniable? Who can deny you? They could try to stop you, but when you're undeniable, they can't stop you either. I love it.
Again,
Woo!
when you are in alignment with your core values,
Yeah.
this is what you're hearing. This is the confidence and the clarity you walk through life with, because
Mm-hmm.
it gets rid of all the noise and all of the
Mm-hmm.
distortion, and
Yes.
one of my I am declarations is I am not confused. Okay. I am not confused. And that is because I have the clarity and the confidence of living in alignment with my core values.
Michael, I have to ask you, what is success for you after everything that you have learned, everything that you've accomplished, everything that you've traded for more joy, more peace? What is success?
Well, I already told you I'm the happiest man alive.
So you're living the dream.
Success, honestly, I really am. But success for me comes from being able to live with what I now have, which is an opportunity mindset. The simplest way I can describe this is instead of saying I'm grateful for my wife,
Mm,
I'm grateful for the opportunity to love my wife. I'm grateful for the
mm.
opportunity to laugh with my wife and to share with my wife, because quite frankly, I don't know if my wife's going to be here tomorrow.
Come
We
on
don't know that
now.
for sure.
We try to act like we
Anything,
do.
and you, we don't. Nothing is given.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is given, right? We're deserving of everything, but entitled to nothing.
Come on.
Okay. So my idea of success is that my eyes are so wide open and
Mm-hmm.
my mind is so sharp and open that I recognize all of my gifts and I receive all of my gifts. And it's not that just I am grateful for them, but I'm grateful for the opportunity for each of them. It
Yes.
allows me to, when my dogs jump on me and they're licking my face, it allows me to forget everything else and spend that moment, just in that moment, just
Mm.
loving this opportunity to spend this 5 minutes with them. And
Yes.
that goes for my time with my children, my time with my clients, my time with my friends, everything it's like being in the Garden of Eden, right?
Mm.
Where
Mm.
everything you're appreciating the color of everything, the taste of everything, the smell of everything. It's like
Wow.
having all your senses.
Stimulated and you just
Yeah.
soaking it up. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I am fueled by love every day.
I am fueled by love every day. I love that. That can be your manifesto, disruptors, listeners, viewers. Welcome to the show. I am fueled by love every day. Right now, Michael, in this current world affairs that we're living in, if more people, even if you, I would challenge you that even if you don't feel it, if you can just start to spend a moment thinking about how you would feel if you allow yourself to be fueled by love, what would you be saying? How would you be feeling? What would you be hearing? What would you be doing? How would people be responding to you if you were the person that can stand like our brother here and say, I am fueled by love every day? Man, I'm going to own that for myself. This is one big tool that I am putting in my toolbox, and it's going to be right on my mirror until it's sunk in that every morning, one of the things I'm adding that to my I am statements is I am fueled by love. I am fueled by love. Thank you so much, Michael, for that. Michael, we do Mindset Bites to Go. It's where we have you, just you, with a powerful takeaway for our listeners and viewers. If you just had 90 seconds to share one mindset principle out of the million you have and the 100,000 you shared with us today that could change their life, that they can take with them every day, you just give me my main one from your teachings today. I step away from the microphone and the camera, and it's just you and the listeners of viewers. Here you go.
Here's something simple that you can use today. Next time you feel triggered, pause and ask, what's the story I'm telling myself right now? Is this story empowering or is this story limiting? What belief do I want to act from instead? That breath between reaction and response, that's where transformation happens. Growth isn't one giant leap. It's a small, consistent rewrites of your inner script.
I absolutely love it. That was so powerful, Michael. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your heart with us today. Now, I know that our listeners and viewers want to connect with you. We shared a little bit earlier, and I know that you have a free gift or couple that you want to share with us. Tell us more about that and your favorite way for us to connect with you.
Absolutely. Well, again, I want to thank you so much for having me on and creating such a meaningful space for your listeners where we can all explore healing, growth, and developing our mindset and rediscovery of ourselves. And for anyone listening who wants to take this deeper, I have a couple of gifts for you. First, I'm giving you a 20% discount on the Mastery Mindset Library.
Whoa.
Which is a continually updated collection of tools, workshops, and trainings that will help you rewire your thought patterns and live in alignment. And second is I'm inviting you to your free Mastery Mindset Breakthrough session, which is a 60-minute deep dive with me, where we'll uncover your patterns, we'll reframe your story, and create a personalized plan to move so you can move forward with intention. And
that's so powerful.
to get both, just DM me the word mastery on Instagram at Michael Shaw Mindset. It's right up there on the screen, but it's MICHAELSHAW.MINDSET. And I will personally send them to you, and you can have one, you can have both, either or. You're not committed from one to the other. However, I can help you and serve you. It will be my honor, because remember, mastery isn't about perfection. It's about alignment. And when you live in alignment, you create extraordinary opportunities.
Oh my gosh. Listen, you guys, that is a powerful starter for you. And his library, I did take a peek. So there's so much in there. There's so many people who have experienced transformation. When you go to his website at michaelshawmindset.com, you see so many testimonials of how much people have benefited from his coaching, his mentorship, and also just being and using the tools that is provided in the library. So for him to give you a discount for that, come on now. You cheating yourself if you miss out. And 1 hour of his time, listen, I'm going to go get an hour of his time at this point. I'm just telling y'all right now, I'll come back and tell you guys when he and I come back for the show, because I believe there's a special place that I want to do in 2026, Michael, where we talk about mindset mastery and how we can master our mindsets for building and connecting effectively in our romantic relationships or just in relationships in general. So you and I will hash out what that will look like, and we'll come back and have another episode with you. But for our listeners, you can just remember, you're going to Instagram. Most of us have it. If you don't have one, it's worth creating one. Click the follow button behind Michael. It's at Michael Shaw. For those who are watching, it's on the screen. It's at michaelshaw.mindset. And then DM him mastery. Also let him know that you heard him here and how transformational this episode was. and grab up both of the freebies because it is transformational tools that when someone gives it to you, I want you to act like you just got a check for $1 million, because transformation does not have a price tag, but we do have to charge because it's how we make money to keep taking the work we do further and further, right? So, Michael, thank you so much for being here. You are an absolute gem. I'm so honored to have met you and sat with you today. And I'm looking forward to partnering up with you to keep this mindset mastery and mastery mindset going in the world and making bigger impact together.
Absolutely. I feel exactly the same way. Anytime, just reach out and I'm happy to work with you.
Absolutely. Disruptors, you heard it here. Go to michaelshawmindset.com and keep exploring the Mindset Mastery Library, the Mastery Mindset Library that he's created for tools of transformation for anxiety and confidence and resilience. Until next time, keep mastering your mindset. Think, speak, do, become. I'm Dr. Lisa with my co-host Michael Shaw today saying we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.